Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome to our current art podcast. I'm Yaching.
I'm Chang'en.
Really nice to see you again in the Sunday morning. Yeah, maybe they are not listening it on the Sunday morning. That's very possible. Yeah, but I have to say something to open up.
Okay.
So, yeah, every time walking on the street of like New York, I always feel like, wow, I really miss the time when I was in Lisbon. It's such a beautiful city with those landscape, and I saw many of the azulejo artworks, which is like type of ceramic works in Lisbon in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
And I also missed the time which I saw the film from Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things.
Poor Things.
So that's today's topic.
Great. I watched the Poor Things recently. It's from Yaching's recommendation.
Yeah, because I love that.
I loved it too. I
Yeah.
loved it. Yes.
What do you like the most?
I love Bella.
Me too. It's a woman that we cannot like kind of reject.
Her freedom, expressional freedom, and
Sex.
her sexual female pleasure freedom. Yes, I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So yeah, I very enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I also really like the scenic design. You know, the everything is built according to Bella's vision. If, for example, the murals with the strange ears and the buildings and those flying trams on the sky. So everything is according to Bella's imagination and what she perceives. Yeah.
It was very interesting seeing when she was in Portugal to just wander around alone.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like she's like from the future, even though it was the background was previous generation. I feel like she's wearing the thin sunglasses and short pants.
Yeah.
And then long hair and how she stood, and that's like she's kind of like looking like cyborg
human.
Yeah, human.
Yeah, I also really love the costumes. Yeah.
Yes, I love the
costumes. Yeah, because that also was a concept. Like they I think they use a color scale of a rotting apple. So at first everything was so vibrant, and then it's going to rot, and then so the color scale really changed.
That's right. Yeah, I started with the black and white, and then all of a sudden I realized, oh, the color is beautiful right now. Oh, but it was start with the black and white.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I didn't really realize a changing moment.
And I think all of those like creative decisions about presenting the world like a kind of like hybrid of different animals was also quite interesting to me. Actually, I want to mention a article written by a author called Pietro Bianchi, if you are listening, actually. So it's called Poor Descartes on the E-flex. And then it's a very interesting concept that he was comparing this film, Poor Things, with the one of the concept from French philosopher Descartes. He said, entirety of nature and human phenomena could only be understood mechanically. So I feel like the concept of this film is like the world is highly complex machines. The way that the director creates those lights, for example, chicken head with the pig body is kind of like assemblage of life. And Bella's like reaction and Bella's learning curves was also kind of mechanical instead of following her heart, for example. As she was running away with this lawyer Duncan,
Mm-hmm.
I don't exactly know how to pronounce that. It's more like absorbing experiences. So she's gathering experiences,
Mm-hmm.
like a little bit like AI would learn a language or would learn a thing. That they don't go through this up and down creative process and feeling upset about you don't get it, but you just keep embracing what is around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's very interesting in this article, Pietro kind of talked about a desire from the father role. It's like the desire from Godwin, the character. He kind of talks about this film supposed to be about woman, like freedom, emancipation is the word. And then, but was also really focusing on the partner function. So Godwin, who is a eunuch, that he doesn't have any sexual desire. And then what Bella is different from the human being is like, or what a machine is different from a human being is like a person always have a desire to do something, a desire to want something. And actually that makes this Godwin a father like, personality to Bella. And they kind of go through the film, through the film.
Yeah, it's very interesting how you view Bella as compared to AI. Yeah, similar like how the AI is learning the human society and analysis, understanding, but the AI doesn't have that exact human's desire.
Yeah, that's
But Bella
interesting.
has. Yeah, Bella has actually.
Yeah, because AI also was following this logic of reinforcement learning patterns. Like you constantly receiving feedbacks, but then you don't have this desire, human desire. Yeah.
I was thinking about Bella is because I have experience to growing child, so it's just saying when the baby's little, it's the process of the tantrum and growing pattern and how the brains work. It's just it's showing how the Bella is developing. So I feel like Bella is very human. What I mean? It's more the mechanic process of her brain.
What do you like about her?
I like her about don't give any obstacle. She just speak out what she have feeling, and then most of her favorite part is she's keep trying to achieve next level. She's keep observing her surrounding and learning the language and learning how the people react each other. And yeah, so we have to say this can be spoiler. So
you said too late,
but too late.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, so I like her how she's progressive, constantly learning new society and then develop herself.
Yeah. Of course, I was also amazed by that part. I also amazed by how resilient Bella is. Like the way that she never gave up in order to express herself.
She never changed about that part since she can't even say a word. She just expressed herself with the crying and drawing. And then even she's very educated at the end.
Yeah.
She stood herself. She stood herself and then she made a decision in her life.
Yeah, that's true. Because I think the whole process is also like a self-actualization. Like it reminds me of this very famous theory published by Abraham Maslow in 1943, a theory of human motivation. It was talking about like what do humans actually need in life, and it was presented always like a pyramid. So in the bottom of the pyramid, you have your basic need. That is like most of them are very physical. So the safety need, and for example, food, water, warmth, rest, security, and safety. And then the second level is psychological needs. So belongingness and the love needs, esteem needs. For example, intimate relationship, friends, and prestige, and feeling of accomplishment. And on the top of it is like self-fulfillment, self-actualization, like achieving one's full potential. It's watching this film, I felt like seeing Bella like climbing this pyramid. But also I realized that the desire can be like multifaceted. Like there are different kind of desire that we have in life, and all of those desires, there's one thing like you could actually connect all the desires, the desire to be understood by surrounding, by society, by yourself, the need to communicate. And I think language and cognitive behaviors play a huge role.
Right. Yeah. So to get your desire delivered to others, you need to communicate, and then you need language they understand. Yeah, it's a very huge part of this movie, and I kind of related feeling with how she developed her language. And I was back of my journey of my immigrant life story. So yeah, it's definitely by your language development and your surrounding attitude towards you is definitely changing.
Yeah, what was your experience when you first moved to the United States? Like,
I didn't speak English very well at the time, and I tried to, and luckily I got a job right away, even though I wasn't really fully fluent in English because my skill. And
what was your job at that moment?
It was the denim designer. I made a denim.
Yes, big company.
It's not big company. It's called the Denim Group.
Yes,
but it's they selling the mom and pop store, so it was kind of like a lower kind of selling prices. It's not really expensive. Anyway, so I was in there, and then there was 1 year of the working, and then the other company I worked for the cosmetic brand. That was actually a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Because the Daniel group, the team member was Korean people. And then the cosmetic brand, I was only the Asian immigrants, fresh off the boat kind of person. And then everyone is like, they was very, very looked down on me because my language.
Because you don't speak good enough English.
So I couldn't explain myself much. In the Korean custom of work environment is just you do work hard and finish your task on time, and to work more is the more pleasant for the work, the Korean work culture.
Yeah.
But in here, I realized nobody appreciate about that act.
You mean nobody appreciate working hard?
No.
Oh.
No. So that was a shock. And then, even though I work hard, it was not. They think because so they use that. They use it because I work hard. So it was very depressed moment at the time. So that's why I decided to go back to school and educate myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying that working environment is really depressing, and
it was a very minimal communication at the time. I only spoke for just work. But I realized you need so much more than that. You just need to socialize with people, and then you need to PR yourself and kind of politics, that kind of thing. So
what do you mean by politics?
It's kind of like politician culture in corporate world. That's people. Yeah, you know that.
I don't know. I never worked in a corporate in America.
Yeah, it's kind of like you see that in company. Basically, it's like a war battle.
Yeah,
it has a between team and team, between personality individuals. They always battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So want to be look better than others. But I didn't do that game.
You mean that they have to campaigning about their
constantly competing each other, and then you have to show more your more advantage things in your achievement with your verbal, but I didn't have that skill.
Yeah, so talking is
very important.
Yeah, to be able to use the language like fluently and then purposefully to express your
so if you don't protect yourself with your talking, then end up just ton of work because people just toss your work. I couldn't say no to it because that was my culture. So you work very hard, but end up just like I'm the only laborers, only like just the last years of the labor.
Yeah, understand. You know? So basically it's a bit abusive, and then if you are not one of those people who is coming from this culture, at first you don't know how to deal with this very complex social situation, and then how to say no, like reject people's those weird requests or unreasonable requests.
Right. I have my own priority, something it's more important to me. I need to finish my work. But yeah, that's kind of interrupted by the people just dumped on their project on me, or it's just when we have to come up with their own ideas. Somebody says have a promotion better than me, then even though my idea is better, I think, but I can't really select it or something like that.
Yeah. So I think this is so much about how to communicate with your values. So we talked about actually in very first episode. And I think the reason was also understand the intention behind the languages. Like especially when you are living outside of your home countries, it can be very challenging that you have to be quick enough to understand what this person really wants when they say so many things, right? And it can be challenging when you are not fully understanding their languages, their culture, and then it's so many things to handle. How do you read their intentions? Right.
Yeah, it's basically, and then it's not just language, and then it's in that language you have there is so many like the social communication behind it, right? Even though I learned English from the school, but I didn't learn the culture, just only the language, the word from the book. So I don't have the eye contact, how I do the word face expression when you say hi or something like that. It's like we say first page of the English book when I started English in middle school. So say hi, hello, my name is Chang'en. How are you? Fine, thank you. And you?
That's
just like that word without any emotion. So I do that to my actual in this real life. People say,
she's weird, and also when your like language patterns and your behavior is not synchronized with the culture, and you can easily feel like unsafe. So and then that will turn to a bad consequence, which you feel like, okay, I couldn't really communicate with people. And then maybe a self-protection mechanism is turned on, and it eventually become like I have to defend myself. And that's a very, I feel like, bad place to go, I feel.
That's right. Yeah. So I think the Bella very ambitiously didn't care about this people are gonna judge you. Maybe she didn't feel it. Do you think she didn't sense?
I I mean, that's what this article was from. Pietro was talking about, that Bella's reaction towards the world at first was like really mechanical.
Yeah,
That she didn't really perceive those like behaviors and experiences as bad.
When I look at Bella, I said I looked at her as toddler in the beginning,
Toddler,
right?
yeah.
The toddlers, they don't give a shit. They do whatever they want. They don't really receive answers. They just spit it out. They just spit out their expression.
So we appreciate that quality. Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So
because you have to not give a fuck in so many different situations. You cannot care about everything.
Well, as you get older and then you understand the society and communication, you observe the other people's, face expression, very little subtle kind of social communication skills you learn, right?
Yeah.
But some people don't.
Some people don't. We are not going to say the name who doesn't. Do you think? Yeah, that's true. That's actually what I also very appreciate of Bella, is that I don't know if she's really not learning those social rules, or just a conscious choice of giving up those like limitations. It's a
very good question. I think it's half and half. Now, after she have educated herself, she knows what people want. Be polite. Why people are speak very generously, and it's kind of like softly.
Yeah.
But she actually use fancy word, not to get harsh, like direct word, but still she express what she wants.
You mean like it's Bella's choice somehow to choose to review her forms and give up the embellishment of the language? I choose not to say fancy words all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that I cannot choose because I don't know so many fancy words. So
in
English, yeah,
it's the fancy word. It doesn't show your intelligence. You can just give a sense of your favorite social class, but it's not really present yourself. I don't think.
You also. Then that means that you also think like somebody is using languages to show their social status, like I speak certain words in order to give you a sense.
Yeah, I think definitely the Western culture have that. I think it's everywhere. In Korea also, if you use a fancy word, then definitely people look at you. You are very educated and smart, How about you?
How about me?
Like in China culture, that
kind
of like words are people are not usually used.
Oh, that's very difficult to judge because I left China like when I was 21 years old. So after I've been to college, so I left, and I didn't have the chance to practice those fancy words that I learned in my university because I just left a Chinese speaking environment.
Or just generally, when you listen to the broadcast, or some people like the professors or whatever higher society people talking different words.
Do they? Of course, I feel like my language skill was all right. So most of the time, as long as they don't speak specific like medical terms, I can mostly understand what people are talking about, because Chinese languages, you can interpret it based on how the character is written and how the character is pronouncing. So you can always make connections between different words. Yeah. And talk about podcasts. Recently, I've listened to a German podcast, and it was talking about how does the kid control emotions. And 20 minutes, this podcast was talking about the scene before, like the 10-minute scene before a kid has to go out, and then her mom dressing her up, and then she's constantly being distracted. I feel like I have a very good understanding about German podcasts, even though I don't know every German words. I think the way they're talking about the different matters are different from in America.
Mm-hmm.
From my perception, I think they like to limit the range of the things they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So when they talk about how to control emotion, they don't go to 1,000 other topics, but they're focusing on this one specific thing, and everything they're talking about is in this context, and it's matter that they talk about things in depth rather than like I would make references or make connections with so many other things. And that actually also embedded in the German culture. When I was moving to Germany, I realized I can quickly make friends because they like to talk about very sincere matters. So it's a feeling that I received, like the conversations are sincere. It's not like so much about playing games and
right.
I think here in America I feel like okay, have to play some game with people.
Right. I think is it just because America or just English like speaking culture is just it's because English or the French is gonna be different?
Oh, I only know 4 languages.
Four languages?
That's also bragging
Yeah,
of
it's
myself.
a lot.
Sorry, people.
I am just English and Korean.
Yeah, but I
Right.
realized my language level was not connected with how much words I know. It's more about the state of my mind. Like if I feel comfortable to speak up in certain situations. Yeah. Like last summer I went back to China and my father asked me, "Will you stutter? You stutter in Chinese. And do you also stutter when you are not at home?" I said, "Yeah, I stutter time to time." Is stutter the right word? Like you cannot speak fluently.
Stuttering, yeah.
So
I do that in my own native language too.
Yeah, it's always things that you cannot express, but we always find way to express it with like body languages or with visual communication.
Right.
That's actually the reason why I wanted to become a visual artist. Because I always thought I cannot tell a story fluently with words.
Definitely, it's a verbal language. It's not like perfect for express everything you have.
Yeah.
You know? So also there is a limitation between the country languages, but the body is universal. Anyone has the body, and then you understand with the gesture.
Yeah. Oh, so that's actually a good place, which I want to introduce you a work I saw in Documenta 15th in Kassel. I saw this work from Amol K Patil. If you're listening, hi. And I was connected with this artist over the internet after I saw his work because I really liked it. He was growing up in India. Because India has like so many different languages. I read about, was it like 200 languages? Okay, you have to comment below if you think this number is wrong. He grew up with Sambaya language, which is a language combined with Marathi and Hindi, and 84 million of people actually speak these languages.
Okay.
Yeah. But English is still very, very present in India because of the colonization history. So when British people came to India, when they pronounced different streets and different places, they changed the pronunciation. And Amol Patil, he make the words with the gestures, with the body gestures. You saw his like drawing or paintings were so powerful. Like there are different like hand gestures, like connecting with each other. It was very minimalistic, but then very powerful because you see the desire of using like a specific gestures to indicate a specific moment that is unique for the artist. Yeah. And he also talks about like every language is equally important, yet uniquely important. So when he is doing different exhibitions in different parts of the world, he translates everything in different languages. But he also mentioned to build up this social relationship, we don't always use languages. We use gestures to communicate.
Right. So I guess from that case you're talking about Amol Patil, maybe he is exposed to English. Every language is important, but none of language is perfect. So it's more important to try to understand the body language. Is that it?
I think it's actually why I'm bringing his work up is like, I think there are more things to understand each other than using just languages. That you don't actually get to know a person just from how they speak. You learn them like 360 degrees, right? You learn a person from 5 senses, like smell, touch, and talking visually. Definitely. Yeah, and hearing them also as well.
Yeah, definitely. You don't really know the person only by the speaking.
So I feel like it's pretty unfair when I hear your story when people judge one person just by how do they speak.
Yes, but it's it happens. It happens because sometimes you think you know person by just watching an interview, but it's not. You don't know everything about the person or the Zoom meeting, or you really cannot sense what actual her the aura is. So
we have all been to this like time where in which we have to use Zoom to communicate every single day. But I feel like I get a very light sense of the people I know from Zoom. It's like the physical presence is important. Your presence is very important.
Right, definitely. Its physical body contains the vibration, and then this vibration, you can't really see it, but the certain close distance you will feel it.
Chemistry. Yeah.
Yes. So
we have chemistry between us.
Yeah, chemistry can happen between not just man and woman. I mean, I'm supporting LGBTQ community. Anyone who is you can communicate with a comfortable mind is definitely there is a chemical each other. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
And then you match with your energy.
Yeah, in such a crowded dating culture, I think like many people like wants to find love actually. And then chemistry is something important between two people, but somehow I think human connections is important. It's like the relationship beyond relationship, the relationship beyond like sex.
Right. So I think the Bella is a very important thing you said. The human connection is very important because Bella developed her speaking knowledge, all that social skills by meeting people.
Exactly. Doing what?
Doing whoring, the selling her body.
You mean doing the
brothel house?
Yeah. You mean that's how she gets?
She improved so much through that experience.
Yeah, that's true. You want to talk more about how you feel about, because I think it's a very interesting topic.
Almost to the end, but yeah, we can make another episode with like the sexual freedom.
Sexual freedom is a good topic. I love that. So anyway, we have to go, but was really great to spend another 40-ish minutes with you. We will see you every
Sunday, 10 a.m.
Exactly. And please follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram account is
current.art podcast.
Very good. And our podcast is available on YouTube Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Pocket Podcast.
Very good.
So hope to see you there very soon and see you next episode. Did I forget something? So what should you do after like you watch our videos?
Subscribe, please.
And
then like.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much and see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.